Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are going to be going headfirst into something that can really mess with your entrepreneurial hustle.
Yeah.
It's brain fog. You ever feel like your brain is a web browser with like 20 tabs open and they're all just buffering at the same time?
All the time.
Yeah, that's brain fog. We've got a whole stack of research here, and we're going to break it down, figure out how to understand brain fog, like what causes it, what triggers it, and how to get rid of it so you can get back to crushing your goals. Oh, and one little sneak peek. We might just bust a few myths about sleep along the way. Sound good?
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to dive into this. You know, it's interesting how we kind of just brush off brain fog as just like a little annoyance, but it's a real productivity killer, especially for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
You're always making decisions, you're coming up with strategies, and you really need that mental sharpness to jump on opportunities when they come up.
Yeah.
Brain fog can literally cost you time, money, and momentum.
So let's get this straight right off the bat. What exactly is brain fog? Is it something a doctor can diagnose? Or is it more like, I don't know, just a feeling?
So it's not like an official medical diagnosis, but it's definitely more than just a feeling.
Okay.
I think of it more as a bunch of symptoms that all kind of come together, and they basically tell you your brain isn't exactly firing on all cylinders. You might have trouble focusing. It might be hard to make decisions. You might feel overwhelmed all the time, even by simple tasks. It's like your brain is running on fumes.
So it's not just me staring at my to-do list, wondering where the day went.
Yeah.
There's actually some real science behind this thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And speaking of science, there are some common symptoms that kind of point to brain fog. Difficulty concentrating, struggling to make decisions, and that feeling of just being overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Those are the big three.
Okay, so if I'm feeling those things for more than a week, I should probably talk to my doctor.
Exactly. This is about giving you the tools to deal with those everyday brain fog moments, not about replacing professional medical advice.
All right, this isn't WebMD. This is just for entrepreneurs to get some quick tips.
Exactly.
Okay, good to know. Now, I've heard people say that, brain fog means you're just not smart enough. You're not cut out for the pressure of being an entrepreneur.
Right.
Is there any truth to that?
That is a myth we've got to debunk right away.
Okay, good.
Brain fog has nothing to do with your intelligence, your commitment, or your talent. In fact, a lot of times it hits high achievers because they're pushing themselves so hard.
Oh, so it's not a personal failing.
Right.
It's more like a signal that something's off.
Precisely. And you know what? One of the biggest culprits, especially for entrepreneurs, is lack of sleep. We hear all the time about getting 7 to 9 hours, but studies suggest that entrepreneurs might actually need even more.
More sleep. How am I supposed to build an empire and sleep like a teenager?
I know it seems counterintuitive, but just hear me out for a sec. When you're sleep deprived, your body starts pumping out this hormone, ghrelin, which actually makes you crave food instead of rest.
Really?
It's like your brain is saying, forget sleep, give me a donut.
Whoa. So lack of sleep equals foggy brain and potential weight gain.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
What else can trigger this brain fog monster?
Stress and anxiety are huge factors.
Yeah.
When you're constantly under pressure, your body's releasing cortisol, and that's a hormone that can really mess with brain function. It's like trying to think clearly in the middle of a marathon. Your body's just in survival mode. It's not in strategy mode.
Yeah, and it's not even just the big stressors, right?
Yeah.
It feels like the constant go, go, go of just being an entrepreneur can just weigh on you.
You're absolutely right. That feeling of constantly rushing from one thing to the next, what we call hurry sickness, that actually prevents your brain from processing information in an effective way. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose. You're getting a lot of input, but you're not absorbing much.
That's a good analogy. Okay, so sleep, stress, anything else I should be watching out for?
You know what? Diet plays a much bigger role than people realize. What you eat literally fuels your brain. You wouldn't put cheap gas in a high-performance race car, would you? Not if you want to win.
That's true.
Same goes for your brain.
Okay, so what are the brain fog foods I should avoid?
Think about things that send your energy on a roller coaster ride. Tons of caffeine, sugary snacks, processed foods, anything with a lot of artificial ingredients.
Yeah.
Those can create spikes and crashes in your blood sugar, and that leaves your brain feeling sluggish and fuzzy.
So nothing from the vending machine.
Pretty much.
All right, so we've defined brain fog, busted some myths, uncovered some of its triggers, but what can we actually do to banish this fog and get back to that, clear, focused, entrepreneurial mindset?
That's where we're headed next. Think of it like building a toolkit for mental clarity.
Okay.
We'll start with some fundamental lifestyle changes, and then we'll explore some more natural methods. And then finally, we'll dive into some specific techniques for boosting focus and productivity.
Sounds good. This isn't a one-size-fits-all situation.
Okay, exactly. The key is to find what works best for you, your personality, your work style, your individual needs.
Right. Well, let's start with the foundation. What are the lifestyle changes that make the biggest difference?
We've got to start with the one we teased earlier. Sleep.
Ugh.
I know, you're busy building an empire. But think of sleep as your secret weapon, not a luxury.
So you really are saying entrepreneurs need more than 8 hours?
It's not necessarily about hitting a specific number. It's more about listening to your body's signals.
Okay.
If you're always hitting that afternoon slump or you're reaching for caffeine all day long just to power through, it's a sign you might need more rest.
Okay.
And remember that ghrelin effect we talked about?
Yeah.
Getting enough sleep can actually help you make healthier food choices, which supports mental clarity even more.
So it's like a domino effect.
Exactly.
Better sleep, better food, sharper brain. I like it. What else?
Let's talk about what you're putting into your body. A balanced diet. This isn't about deprivation. It's not about following some crazy fad diet. It's about giving your brain the nutrients it needs to function at its best.
Okay, but let's be real. I'm an entrepreneur, not a nutritionist.
Yeah.
What are the basics I really need to know here?
Think of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants as your brain's power squad. And antioxidants are especially important because they help fight off those nasty free radicals that can damage cells and contribute to brain fog.
So antioxidants are like my brain's personal bodyguards.
Exactly.
Protecting it from those little villains.
Exactly. And here's another powerful tool that actually benefits both your body and your mind. Regular exercise.
Okay.
We're not just talking about physical fitness here. Exercise has a real impact on your cognitive function.
Right. Tell me how hitting the gym can help me hit my business goals.
For starters, exercise increases blood flow, which means more oxygen and nutrients are reaching your brain cells.
Okay.
It also triggers your body to release endorphins, those mood-boosting chemicals?
Yeah. It can really help you power through tough days.
Okay, I'm all about that mood-boosting part for sure. What else?
It also boosts serotonin, another brain chemical that's linked to mood, but also focus and sleep. But here's the really exciting part. Studies show that regular exercise can actually increase your IQ and even protect your brain from cognitive decline as you get older.
Really?
Yeah, we're talking long-term benefits here.
Wow, exercise is like a brain power investment.
Absolutely.
I'm sold. What else can I do to give my brain a boost?
Let's talk about something that might sound a little counterintuitive for the always-on entrepreneur. Taking breaks.
Okay.
I know it seems like every minute counts,
Yeah.
but strategic breaks are not a sign of weakness.
Okay.
They're a sign of smart work.
Okay.
I'll admit, I am guilty of pushing through until I hit a wall. How can taking breaks actually make me more productive? Your brain is like any other muscle. It needs rest to recover and recharge.
When you push yourself too hard without giving your mind a break, you're actually hindering your productivity in the long run.
So it's like trying to run a car on empty.
Exactly.
Eventually, you're just going to stall out.
Exactly. And breaks aren't just about stepping away from work. They're about giving your mind a different kind of stimulation. Go for a walk, listen to music, meditate, chat with a friend, anything that kind of helps you shift gears and come back refreshed.
Okay, so it's about giving your brain a chance to breathe and reset. What else have we got in this toolkit?
Let's move on to a strategy that's especially important for entrepreneurs. Goal setting and prioritization.
Okay.
When you're juggling a million projects and responsibilities, it's so easy to feel overwhelmed and lose sight of what's important.
That's definitely a challenge I face. How can I stay focused on the big picture when I'm getting pulled in a million different directions?
One really effective strategy is creating what I call a brain fog action plan. Think of it as your own personal roadmap for clarity. Write down your specific goals for overcoming brain fog and the steps you'll take to get there.
Okay, so instead of just saying, I want to be less foggy, I need to be specific about what I'm going to do about it.
Exactly. And don't let those big goals overwhelm you.
Right.
Break them down into smaller, more manageable steps. So instead of, I need to be more productive, try something like, I will block out 1 hour every morning to focus on my top priority.
Okay, so bite-sized pieces. I like it. So we've covered lifestyle changes and goal setting. What else can we do to combat brain fog naturally?
In the next part, we'll explore some natural methods for restoring clarity and creating a calmer, more focused mind. We'll delve into things like the power of routine, the benefits of meditation, and how important it is to nurture your social connections.
All right, I'm ready to hear more about those natural approaches. Let's dive into part 2.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been talking about brain fog. What it is, what triggers it, and how it can really throw you off your game as an entrepreneur in that last part. We kind of laid the groundwork with some lifestyle changes. So now let's explore some natural methods, some powerful methods that can help you cultivate a calmer, more focused mind.
I'm all about natural solutions. What have we got?
Let's start with something that might seem really simple, a daily routine.
The word routine kind of makes me cringe as an entrepreneur. My days are anything but predictable.
Yeah.
How can I possibly stick to a routine when everything is always changing?
I hear you. And that's why it's important to think of a routine more as a framework, not like a rigid schedule.
Right.
It's about creating a structure that supports your best work, but doesn't stifle your flexibility.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. So what kind of routine are we talking about here?
It's about incorporating activities that promote relaxation and stress management into your day. Maybe it's starting your morning with a quick walk or a few minutes of meditation. Maybe it's having a consistent bedtime routine so your body knows it's time to wind down.
So it's like creating those little pockets of calm
Yeah.
in the middle of all the chaos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those pockets can make a big difference in how you deal with the stress that just comes with being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, speaking of stress management, we talked about meditation earlier. I've tried it a few times, but my mind just races a million miles a minute. How can I actually quiet down my mind and get those focused benefits?
The key is to be patient with yourself.
Okay.
Meditation is a practice. It's not a magic bullet. It's like training a muscle.
Right.
The more you do it, the stronger it gets.
Okay. I can get behind that. Are there any beginner techniques that I could try?
Oh, yeah. There are tons of techniques out there. You can start with something as simple as just focusing on your breath. Just notice the inhale and the exhale. And when your mind wanders, just gently bring it back to your breath.
Okay, that sounds pretty doable.
What else? Guided meditations are great too. There are so many apps and online resources that offer guided meditations for everything from stress to focus.
So it's like having a personal meditation coach in my pocket.
Exactly. And the beauty of it is you can try out different styles and find what works best for you. Even a few minutes each day can make a difference.
Okay, I'm willing to give it another shot. What else is in this Natural Methods toolkit?
Let's talk about something that's super important for everyone, but especially for entrepreneurs who tend to work in isolation: social connection.
It's funny you say that. I've actually noticed when I spend too many days in a row working by myself, I start to feel kind of off.
It's not surprising. We as humans were wired for connection.
Yeah.
Positive social interactions have a huge impact on our mood, our energy levels, and even our ability to focus.
So you're saying that grabbing coffee with a friend or going to a networking event can actually be good for my business?
Absolutely. Think of those interactions as fuel for your entrepreneurial fire. They provide support, inspiration, fresh perspectives that you might not get when you're working alone all the time.
Okay. I'm definitely going to make more of an effort to get out there and connect. What else?
Let's talk about something that might seem a little old school: journaling.
Journaling. I haven't done that since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
How can that possibly help me with brain fog?
It can be incredibly powerful for a few reasons. First, it helps you process your thoughts and emotions. When those thoughts are just stuck swirling around in your head, they create mental clutter, which contributes to brain fog.
So it's like decluttering my mind.
Exactly. And when you write things down, you start to see patterns. You can identify those potential triggers for your brain fog. Maybe you notice that you're more prone to feeling foggy after certain types of meetings or when you haven't slept enough.
Makes sense. So how should I approach journaling?
Don't overthink it. Just get those thoughts out of your head and onto the paper. You can free write, you can use prompts, you can just jot down whatever is on your mind.
And it doesn't have to be perfect, right?
Not at all. This is just for you. It's a safe space for processing, reflecting, and gaining clarity.
Okay, I'm adding journaling to my list of things to try. So far, we've covered lifestyle changes, natural methods for calming the mind, the importance of goals and routines. Where do we go from here?
Now that we've laid the groundwork, we're ready to dive into some specific techniques for boosting your focus and productivity, especially for entrepreneurs. We'll explore everything from leveraging technology to the power of accountability.
Okay, that's what I'm here for. Let's get into those productivity-boosting tactics in part 3. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been talking all about brain fog, how to beat it, and how to get back to that, clear, sharp, focused, entrepreneurial mindset. We've covered lifestyle changes. We talked about natural methods, the importance of goals, routines. Now let's get down to business. How can we boost focus and productivity in the real world where distractions are everywhere?
Yeah, it's all about giving yourself the right mindset and the right tools so you can navigate all the demands that come with being an entrepreneur, without losing your mental clarity. We have to be strategic, especially in a world where everything's designed to grab our attention.
Okay, I'm ready for some strategies. So where do we start?
Let's talk about something that a lot of people see as a productivity killer: technology.
Ooh, interesting.
But it can actually be a really powerful ally if we know how to use it right.
It's funny you say that. I have such a love-hate relationship with technology.
Oh, no.
On the one hand, it makes my life so much easier.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I'm constantly bombarded with notifications, updates. It's hard to focus.
It's the paradox of technology, right?
Yeah.
It can streamline your workflow. It can connect you with tons of resources. But if you let it, it can just totally hijack your attention.
Yeah. So how do we strike that balance? How do we use technology without letting it, basically rule our lives?
It starts with being really mindful and intentional about how you're using it. Choose apps and tools that really work for you.
Yeah.
Support your work style and help you get things done. And be ruthless about getting rid of anything that's just adding noise and distraction to your life.
So it's all about being the master of my tech, not the other way around.
Exactly. Set those boundaries. Turn off notifications, schedule specific times for checking email and social media.
Yeah.
Create a digital workspace that promotes focus, not distraction.
All right, I'm ready to declutter my digital life and get my attention back. What else?
Let's talk about something that might seem a little counterintuitive when we're talking about productivity. Continuous learning.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that adding more to my already full plate is going to make me more productive? I'm not sure I follow.
It's not about just adding more work. It's about investing in yourself.
Okay.
Expanding your skill set. Think about it this way. When you're constantly learning new things, you're basically upgrading your mental software. You're making yourself more adaptable and more efficient in everything you do.
Okay. I'm starting to see the connection. But how can I possibly make time for learning when I'm already juggling so many things?
It doesn't have to be this huge time commitment. Just try to weave learning into your daily routine.
Okay.
Listen to a podcast during your commute, read a business book before bed, take a quick online course during your lunch break.
So it's about finding those little pockets of time to, feed my brain.
Exactly. And those small investments, they can really pay off over time.
Okay.
You'll be surprised at how quickly those new skills, those new insights you learn start showing up in your work.
All right. I'm convinced learning is back on my to-do list. What else do we need to know about boosting productivity?
Let's talk about something we've mentioned a few times: rest and relaxation.
Ugh, I get it.
I know. It seems counterintuitive, but downtime is not a luxury.
Yeah.
It's absolutely essential for peak performance.
Okay, but I'm an entrepreneur. Rest and relaxation sounds like something I can do when I retire, not when I'm building a business.
Think about it like this. Your brain is a high-performance engine.
Okay.
If you just keep pushing it to its limit without giving it a chance to cool down, it's going to burn out.
So those breaks we talked about, they're even more important than I thought.
Exactly. And it's not just about taking breaks during your workday. It's about scheduling real downtime, whether it's a weekend trip, a night dedicated to a hobby, or even just a few minutes of meditation each day.
Okay, I'm starting to see the big picture here. Rest and relaxation aren't just about feeling good. They're about feeling my productivity.
Absolutely.
What else can I do to, stay on track, keep that brain fog from creeping back in?
Let's talk about monitoring your progress.
Okay.
What gets measured gets managed.
So you're saying if I want to actually see results, I need to keep track of how I'm doing.
Exactly. Remember that personal brain fog action plan we talked about?
Yeah.
That's a great way to track your progress. Set specific goals, specific timelines, measurable milestones.
So instead of just saying, I want to be less stressed, I might say, I will meditate for 10 minutes every morning for a month.
Exactly. Those concrete targets make it easier to stay motivated, and you can really see how far you've come.
Okay.
And don't forget about all those great online resources that can help you assess your situation and track your progress along the way.
So there are tools out there that can help me pinpoint my triggers, monitor my sleep, even track my mood.
Absolutely. And don't hesitate to reach out to a professional for extra support if you need it.
Okay.
Whether it's a therapist, a coach, a healthcare provider, there are people out there who can help you personalize your approach and get past any roadblocks you're facing.
That's good to know. Now, we've talked a lot about stress being a huge trigger for brain fog.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I could do to manage stress besides all the lifestyle changes and relaxation techniques that we've already talked about?
Let's take a closer look at what stress actually does to our bodies. Okay.
When you're stressed out all the time, your body's basically in a state of low-grade inflammation. And that inflammation can really mess with your brain function.
So it's not just in my head, stress is actually changing my body.
Exactly. Stress also leads to what we call oxidative stress.
Okay.
It's basically like an imbalance in your body's chemistry. It's kind of like those free radicals we talked about earlier are just running wild,
Yeah.
damaging cells, contributing to that foggy feeling.
Wow, stress is even worse than I thought.
And here's the real kicker. Chronic stress can actually change the structure of your brain.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, shrinking the part of your brain that's responsible for learning and memory.
Okay, I am now officially on a mission to de-stress my life. What else can I do besides, everything we've already talked about?
Start by becoming aware of your personal stress triggers.
Okay.
What are the specific things that just send your stress levels through the roof? Is it a certain type of client? Is it your never-ending to-do list? Is it just the pressure of always being on? That makes sense. Once I know what my triggers are, I can figure out how to deal with them.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of simply acknowledging that you're stressed. Talk to a friend, write it down, just take a few deep breaths.
Okay.
Just allow yourself to feel what you're feeling.
So it's about acknowledging those feelings instead of trying to push them down.
Exactly. And remember, not everything is a personal attack. You know, criticism, setbacks, unexpected challenges, those are all part of being an entrepreneur. Don't take it personally. Look at it as a chance to learn and grow.
Okay, that's a really good way to look at it.
Okay.
Practice self-forgiveness. We all make mistakes, especially when we're trying new things, pushing ourselves outside our comfort zones. Don't dwell on the past. Just focus on what you can learn from it and move on.
So let go of the guilt and focus on solutions.
Exactly. And finally, cultivate a positive mindset. We've talked about the power of positive self-talk.
Yeah.
When you focus on the good things, even when you're facing challenges, you create a more resilient, resourceful mindset. That makes sense. Your attitude really does have a big impact on how you handle things. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
Any final words of wisdom before we wrap up this deep dive?
Just remember, this is just the start. The real key is taking what you've learned, experimenting with it, and figuring out what works best for you. Building a business is a marathon, not a sprint. Take care of your mind and body, and you'll be well on your way to achieving those big dreams.
That's great advice. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into brain fog. We'll see you next time for another look at the entrepreneurial journey. Until then, stay focused, stay resilient, and keep chasing those dreams.